How does that work?
At the 7-minute.
Yeah, so I hope they're well rested. I can't imagine having a good night's sleep before being launched to the moon, but I hope they manage to, because I think they'll be very busy with everything for the next few days. I think that it's a 4-day journey to the moon, and not that they will have nothing to do then by any means, but they can probably rest a little easier once they've gotten through this first part.
You just said a 4-day journey to the moon?
Yeah, so they got a couple days orbiting Earth, and then about a 4-day journey to the moon before they slingshot around, and another 4 days back.
I wonder, in their loop around the Earth, kind of like you sometimes with your naked eye, you can see the International Space Station. I don't know if this would be too small to view. Do you know if we might be able to see this on a clear night?
I was wondering that this morning, but I didn't find an answer. Okay. I think it is a lot small. It's much smaller than the space station.
Right.
But I'm not sure. It would be pretty great to see them up there above you, even if just a speck of light.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously, I'm very glad that you're with us during this coverage today, Professor, but I'm surprised that there isn't a student watch party for astronomy students. Is there something like that on campus?
There is. So this time slot at 3:30 is actually our normal colloquium spot when we have a visitor giving a seminar on some cool topic in astronomy. But they started that event a little early today so that everybody could watch the launch together. And I'm missing that to be with you, but it's great to see it.
Well, we owe you for that. We
yes.
appreciate that. Thank you.
A question about the weather, because there's obviously a lot of talk about the launch and the weather conditions being right for that. But when they return, I imagine the weather matters. Does it maybe not matter as much? Obviously, I think returning is maybe not as complicated as the launch.
9 minutes of mission elapsed time.
Yeah, once you're on the return, there's no engines. So where you go is not really up to you anymore, and it's traveling so fast when it enters the atmosphere. One of the reasons they had Artemis 1 was to make sure that the heat shield that will protect the astronauts as they enter back in the atmosphere is good. So the weather shouldn't matter much at that point, except if they're going to land in the ocean, and if there's some kind of big storm in the ocean, it could be much harder to pick them up.
Right.
I think that would be the main worry then.
You know what? I just mentioned a watch party perhaps for your students at UCLA. We have our own watch party that Christina Gonzalez is at in Downey. So let's go ahead. If you could wait, just stand by, Professor. Let's check in with Christina Gonzalez and get the reaction there in Downey. How exciting was that, Christina? What was the reaction in the room?
Oh my God, we were all holding our breath. Columbia Memorial Space Center is where we're at, and we're having a little issue with IFB, but let me step out of the way because these people are just amazing. They are just completely following. There are some people who started to cry. There's actually someone here who worked on the Apollo missions. And you're going to hear from that person at 5 o'clock because right now I'm not going to try to interrupt anybody. There are people here who were around when the Apollo mission. And then there's all these kids who are probably going to be flying the next rockets when we start going to the moon and Mars. So it's really, really emotional. It really is.
You know what's telling there is a lot of times when there's a TV news camera, people can't help but look at the camera. I don't see one. Yeah. All faces are forward on this, focusing on the rocket.
Nobody here. Nobody here wants to look at us. And nobody has a cell phone on their face. Do you notice that?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Everyone's phones down and eyes where they should be on Artemis 2.
Do you want me to try to bring somebody over here to hear from them?
Sure.
It's up to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me see if I can do that. Let's see, because they're not even looking at me.
Okay.
On over there he is. This is Ron. Ron, I hate to pull you out of this.
That's all right. Yes.
You followed the Apollo missions. You were a kid. You were watching it. Kind of explain what's going through your heart.
Oh, this is just so inspirational, isn't it? Gives us a lot of hope. This is a long journey getting here, right? To finally get this off the ground. And it's just another milestone.
You're getting teary-eyed on me.
I'm sorry, what?
You're getting teary-eyed on me.
Yeah, like I told you a little bit before we talked earlier, I remember the Mercury and Gemini programs, and I saw the Apollo 11 launch on my little black and white TV with my mom in the living room, right? And
Did you think this would happen?
I didn't, I'm glad I lived this long to see, like, Mom was right, eat your vegetables, right?
Yeah.
Because I've experienced a lot. I've experienced a lot in terms of space and space flight.
Thank you so much, Ron, for talking to us. I know you want to get back there to continue watching.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I promised him I wouldn't pull him too far away. Now, I want to show you. Let's see the man behind the lady in blue. He worked in the Apollo mission.
Oh, really?
Okay, he did tell him. Yes, I talked to him on camera. And I'm not going to even try to pull him out now because he would hit me over the head.
Yeah,
but at
we
5
understand
o'clock,
that.
you're going to hear from him.
Okay.
For him, this is a very special moment.
Absolutely. All right, Christina, we'll let you get back to it, and we'll look forward to your report tonight on the Fox 11 News at 5. Thank you so much. All right, I want to thank both you and Adam here. So Professor Stephen Furlanetto, he's a professor of physics and astronomy at UCLA. Thank you so much, Professor. Maybe you can join the watch party now. Maybe it's close by. We appreciate you taking the time and watching this most historic moment with us.
Of course, great to be with you.
Thank you.
And Adam, thank you for joining me in the coverage, and your insight was invaluable given how important the weather is.
Sure, and glad that it wasn't that big of a factor today.
Amen.
And happy to be able to just sit here and kind of have a front row seat and have an expert that we could talk to through this whole thing. That was really cool. And some great insight.
That was really very, just a moment I'll never forget.
Same.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I even forgot to take a picture. I know you took a picture on your phone or a video.
Yeah.
My phone was down the whole time.
which is so funny because I'm taking a video at a TV station and we have plenty of video everywhere. I just want to make sure it's on my phone. All right, Adam, thank you. I'm going to bring into the conversation now Laura Diaz, who she is so lucky and she got to speak to Victor Glover Jr.'s dad, Victor Glover Sr. He is one of the 4 astronauts who's aboard Artemis 2. As we've reported on, he is local to Southern California. He's from Pomona. He's a U.S. Navy captain, test pilot, and astronaut. He was the pilot on the first operational flight of the SpaceX Crew Dragon to the ISS. And he is the pilot of Artemis 2, and he is the first person of color now to fly beyond the low Earth orbit. And Laura Diaz now stepping in where Adam was. Good to have you.
Great to be here.
What a moment that was.
Oh my goodness, it was so extraordinary. And of course, because of Victor, we feel this special connection. And you were just reading his accolades. I mean, really, he is a publicist's dream.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
He married his college sweetheart. They have this wonderful marriage, these 3 beautiful daughters, as you just mentioned, numerous advanced degrees, and just a great guy. If you ever have the opportunity to meet him, I've only met him via Zoom. He's so engaging. He has this beautiful smile.
Dynamic on Zoom is hard to pull off.
Yeah, but he
can.
does.
Yeah, he's got that glow.
He's so extraordinary.
And you got to talk to his dad.
And
his dad seemed like an extraordinary man and very humble.
Yes, I mean, the whole family is really that way. Speaking to his dad earlier today, of course, having a little bit of jitters, as would any parent, and talking about being back there because he's there for the launch.
Okay.
And he had the opportunity to speak to his son this morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so maybe we can share some of that interview, but it really is interesting to hear him talk about what they discussed. And he said that being back there allows him to actually be in, sort of a narrow corridor, to not think too much, because you can get sort of consumed in your thoughts. And the fact that they're there and the families are treated so well really helps. And the fact that he had the opportunity to speak to his son on FaceTime.
Right, and I think we do have some of that sound, if I'm not mistaken, do we? Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and listen to that.
See that big smile on your face. So just tell me what's in your heart right now, hours before launch.
Lots of joy and excitement and some anxiety and some nervousness all wrapped up into one. But I think overall, considering the magnitude of this, I'm relatively calm and at peace. Had a chance to talk with Victor Jr. on FaceTime this morning after he woke up, and seeing the big smile on his face and the fact that he's ready really has put a lot of comfort in my heart. And so we're ready for this. Let's go.
So he was obviously there to witness history, as we all were just now. So now what? Does Dad just stay local, or does he come back home? Does he live locally as well?
No, I believe he lives in Texas.
Okay.
So he traveled there.
Okay.
But as we all know, Victor was raised here.
Right.
He graduated from Ontario High School in 1994. He graduated from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, his alma mater, my alma mater. So we're very proud. Go Mustangs. And then went on to get 3 more advanced degrees. So he is incredibly educated. There he is at Cal Poly. He goes back and he speaks to the students.
Oh.
He is a rock star. All 3 of his daughters have attended Cal Poly. 1 just graduated, and 2 are now students there. So there's a deep connection with Cal Poly on the Central Coast.
Wow.
Later on today, I'll have an interview that I did with the president of the university, Dr. Armstrong. So very proud.
I'm sure they had a watch party.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're not in session right now. So that's been the hard part.
Okay.
I wanted to go to Ontario High School. A lot of schools are not, they're on spring break right now.
Because of spring break.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But I'm sure that people are watching at home. And I know Dr. Armstrong told me that he would definitely be watching with his beautiful wife, Sharon. So all of us, just had our hearts thumping like this as he took off, and just, Godspeed. And I should talk about the fact, too, that Victor is a religious man.
Okay.
And so he prays while he's up there.
Oh.
He's also the first Black to achieve all these magnificent things that he's done. So he sometimes listens to soul music, he says, while he's up in space.
Oh.
He wants to stay connected to his roots. But he says he looks forward to the day when we're not talking about the first this and the first that, because that means everybody, has the equal opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a really wonderful day. I know our hearts are so full today.
You mentioned that Victor Glover Sr. is there nearby in Florida, and he was treated really well.
Yes.
Can you expand on that?
Well, they get like a swag bag, it sounds like. And they get a tour. I mean, just the fact that you're allowed to be there. And he said at one point he spoke to him behind glass, I think was how he put it. It was sort of a term.
Because I think we have the sound.
Yes, we have more sound if we can listen to it.
You've been back east for a while now, right? I assume that you're being treated like royalty. You are, of course, the father of the great Victor Glover Jr. So tell us what it's like to be a family member back there right now.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. We got here actually on Sunday, and we came over to the Kennedy Space Center and checked in, picked up credentials. They gave us some goodie bags and things of that nature. We actually got a chance to do, they call it the Wave Across, where they take family and friends and they actually bring the astronauts out. We can't get close to them because they're still quarantining, but they're close enough for us to be able to talk to them, have a conversation, do some air hugs and things of that nature, and get to see them live and in living color. And then there are a select few of us that the following day get to do an event that they call Behind the Glass. And that's where there were 5 of us that got to go in and see him and Deanna and the girls, all 5 of them, all 6 of them actually were together. They were behind the glass in the crew quarters. And then we were on the other side of the glass with a speaker. And so we could talk to him. We got to spend about 25 minutes with him like that yesterday. And that was really, really nice. And then, like I said, this morning when he got up, he called me on the phone, and that was a really nice way for us to start the day.
Yeah.
I mean, just to experience everything that he did, and as a parent, how proud he must be. I mean, you talked about the fact that Dad is a retired police officer.
Yeah, he was with the police force, and I think that Victor had kind of your classic upbringing about how important it was to give back to society, and clearly he did that. I mean, he is so
above and beyond, literally and figuratively.
And one of the stories his dad told me the first time I interviewed him was that when he was a little boy, they came in and he had taken apart the alarm clock, and they kind of looked at him and he said, I'm going to put it back together.
And he did.
And he did.
And
it worked perfectly.
And it probably made it better.
Yes. And when I told Victor Jr. that story, he said, he laughed and he said, I really thank my parents for fostering my sense of curiosity. But those really bright kids can also be a challenge. But they knew something happened extraordinary in their son. And he has literally gone out of the world in his success, but his feet are on the ground. And that's what I think is really nice when you speak to him, even via Zoom. I held up a Cal Poly sweatshirt where he played, he actually wrestled at Cal Poly.
Oh, wow.
So he's
and he
well
was an
known.
athlete, too.
He's an athlete, too. And I held up that Cal Poly sweatshirt, and he threw his head back, and he laughed, and yay, Poly! I mean, he was so much fun. And I think his friends from high school truly think that one day he will run for president.
Oh.
He's got the personality, he's got the bio, he's got the wonderful family. I mean,
yeah,
amazing.
I guess now that you said that, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. You've been doing this for a long time, Laura. You've seen launches happen. I'm sure you were watching the day the Challenger. What was today like for you?
Today felt more personal for me. I'm not going to lie. I said a prayer, and I just was praying he'd be safe. And I know a lot of other people were too. And so we pray for all of them to come back safely. It's wonderful when you think about the gains we can make as a society, but people have to be brave enough, they have to be interested enough, the money has to go there, all of that. This is really a communal effort, but we think about the people who are on board, and that does give you pause. I do remember the Challenger explosion. It was such a horrible day. There were so many local connections, and there was just deep, deep sadness. And so I'll never forget that. I've only seen one landing. I've never seen a takeoff.
In person?
In person.
Yeah.
I've seen a landing, though, and that's extraordinary, too. I mean, all of it, when you think about the collective effort that takes place and what we can do as humans when we dedicate ourselves to something, you just feel like that whole energy lifts everyone up.
Absolutely, and it certainly does. Well, thank you, and I know it's emotional, and I got emotional watching it, and I haven't even spoken to Victor Glover personally. I think we all can relate to that. So thank you so much. Well, it has
paid off all the bills, everything.
That's right.